Hey guys, what's up? Okay, so this story happened, I want to say I was like 21, maybe I was even 19. Those years are such a blur for me, honestly. They all just meld together. But this particular night, um, I was staying in a hotel with a couple of my friends and her mom. And it was Halloween, and we met up with some of their friends and went to this house party. Actually, that's the night I met at the time, my future ex, Amp, who, again, there's probably a story about him somewhere on here. That was the first night I met him, coincidentally. But regardless, this doesn't really have anything to do with him specifically. We met up with Amp, and then we're gonna call the other guy Mac. We're just gonna call him Mac. And Mac and Amp, Mac had like some other friends with him in his little entourage, the group, his people that he brought to the equation were like friends of his that he's known since he was a kid, like since the first grade or some shit, like lifelong friends, whatever, practically family, whatever. It was like a couple guys and a couple girls. I honestly don't remember their names, and they're not really that it doesn't really matter for the sake of the story, right? So we went to like this house party. It was pretty lame. We wound up getting kicked out because I guess the people were brewing shroom tea and Amp drank it all, and then they got pissed that he drank it all, and so they kicked us out. And I remember I was dressed up as like a sexy version of Billy the Puppet, from Saw. I don't know. That's, again, not really relevant, but just in case you're wondering what I was dressed up like. That's the last year I ever dressed up for Halloween too, actually, now that I think about it. But anyway, so we got kicked out of this house party, right? So like we went to this park, and it's in the town of Port Orchard, Washington. And the setting does matter because Port Orchard, Washington is basically a suburb community, but it's in an area that's near the Key Peninsula of Washington, right? Like on the Puget Sound, very much a heavily forested area, right? So there's a lot of patches of, Port Orchard, Olalla, Purdy, like these areas. It's it's borderline rural, the community, right? And like big patches of forest, like bears, cougars, all that shit live in there. It's like very much a wooded place. And it's on the well, I wouldn't really say it's between the Cascades and the Olympic Mountains, but there's a lot of shit to go on in the woods. I mean, you just don't really know until you spend some time in there. And if you spend some time in there, you better be aware of your surroundings and quick on your feet, because you might not make it out. Like there's some weird shit in there. One time, just a side note, I went with my weed dealer. She was my homegirl. She back in the day, she was like, she had me all stoned at her house, dabbed me out. I was fucking stupid. And she's like, hey, who wants to go on a night walk in the woods? For like some spooky kind of fun. My stoned ass said, me, I do, like. So we go walking in these woods in this town called Belfair, which is relatively the same sort of general area as the town I'm talking about in the story I'm about to tell. Very much wooded. But Belfair is a little bit like sketchy because there's a lot of tweakers and stuff over there. Not that that's, it adds to the mystique of the whole area. There's like a little bit of a different vibe. But anyway, we went to walking in these woods, and it was her best friend, her man, two pit bulls, and me. I'm at like the back of the line because my ass is wearing flip-flops like always. I'm not properly equipped with the right footwear. And they gave me this dinky ass little headlamp for light, because it's pitch black. We can't see a thing other than the lights illuminating our path before us, right? And they gave me the dinkiest little headlight. Dude, I could barely see in front of me. And I had a bag of chips, so I was busy eating. And so I kind of fell back from the pack. I'm like way back in the line. Dude, I stopped for 1 minute to like adjust my pants or something, dude. And I swear on my life, within less than a foot of me, like I could have reached out and touched whoever this was, somebody. And again, I'm at the back of the line. My whole group is ahead of me. Somebody like coughed. A human being coughed. Dude, I was at the front of the line. In fact, we might have turned around and we were on our way back to the car. So like I was out of there. First one out. Dude, it was the creepiest thing. I never saw who coughed. Didn't care to. I don't even know what the fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? It could have been a serial killer. It could have just been somebody minding their own business. But you know what, dude? Too close for comfort. They didn't make a sound. Like, that experience alone spooked me out. Like, that's just like, man. And if somebody could sneak up on me like that or be that close and I don't notice, like, you don't even know. Like, animals and shit, they be more adapted to that environment. Like, not only could an animal sneak up on you, but a person or a creature could sneak up on you. Like, so anyway, the woods are just nothing to fuck with. Like, they're beautiful, and it's, you know, it's like healing to be in the woods. A lot of people feel like just like walking in the woods is like very grounding, and it's very restorative, and just very, the peacefulness of it all, and the tranquility, and the, you know, the solitude, like it's, and the fresh air from all the trees and the pine, the smell. And, you know, it's just very, very healing, very relaxing. People live for that shit. But you also have to be on your toes, because you never know what's in the shadows, creeping up on you, stalking you like your prey. I'm just saying. Okay. But anyway, so we're at, fast forward, but back to the story. We're at this park in Port Orchard. It's like 1 a.m, something like that. We're all sitting at this picnic table, smoking weed and shit. And we're like on the edge of a very dense forest. The park itself is on the edge of a very dense forest. So there's like, you know, evergreen trees all around, but they're like not super dense, right? But they're like, what's that word? Like, you know, when you stipple on a drawing, and like, you know, the stippling can kind of like start, like the dots are really spread out, and then they get more dense and dense, you know, as you make the stippling more concentrated, right? We're like on the outskirts of the dense stippled trees, if that makes sense. Like, that's just the only way I can describe it. Like, there's like very tall, very big trees, but they're, you know, maybe like 10 feet apart or something like that. And towards the playground area, there's like, it's cleared out. You know what I'm saying? But we're in a little like park bench, picnic table area. I think there maybe it was a gazebo behind us, like, you know, where the parents would sit and chill while the kids played, sort of thing. And we're sitting there, dude. We must have been there for like an hour. Dead ass, dude. All of a fucking sudden, I swear on everything I love. I swear on my life. I swear on everything that is holy, dude. A whole bitch jumped down from the tree, stuck it, landed on top of our picnic table, and the bitch had a black cat on her shoulder. I swear on everything I love, dude. First of all, how long had she been there? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Like, just like the dude in the woods in Belfair, the bitch didn't make a sound. Didn't know branches crackling under her feet, you know, no sticks falling, you know, under the weight of her up in the trees. Because evergreen trees, I don't know if you know, but like pine trees and shit, up, the higher you get, the more kind of like rinkety dinkety the branches are, you know. They're not very like, I don't know, you got to be quite nimble to be fucking around up there. You could fall to your death very easily, I feel like. It's not like a oak tree or something where you could just like be Tarzan and be confident. No, it's kind of like sketchy. Like, they're like way bouncy, kind of thin. Like, I don't know, dude. But she must have been way up there, dude, because boom, and she stuck it like a fucking gymnast on top of our picnic table in front of all of us. And my guy, the cat on her shoulder was 1,000% real. I was watching its chest rise and fall, its little tail like moving and shit, and it sat on her shoulder the whole time. Okay, if that's not a witch, I don't know what is. And you know, they have the legends about like feral people in the woods. I'm not going to get too much into that because I don't want to disrespect anybody. Think I'm talking about. I should just say this. I used to live in the woods. I've been homeless and have lived in the woods before, so I'm not talking about people choosing to make their home in the woods. That's not what I'm talking about. Feral people, I mean like the people who maybe are like, you know, like maybe a different type of human, or like a human that has, you know, lived in the woods away from society for a few generations and have adapted cannibalistic tendencies. You know, there's legends and stories. Even the Native Americans have stories about people being in the woods and like that and shit. From what I've heard, I can't verify that. I haven't necessarily read any primary sources that contain those legends, right? But I've heard through other people that there are legends, right? So it's not just a concept that I'm thinking of. But this girl did not look like somebody who you'd consider feral. She was dressed kind of like steampunk. Like, that's the best way I could describe her fashion. It was like steampunk-ish. And she was relatively well put together for a bitch who just came down from the tree. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, she's like, hey guys, what's up? As if she just didn't jump down from way up above. Like, you know, we're all kind of flabbergasted, jaws on fire. You know, I'm like, it's like, hi, you know, I'm kind of quick on my feet. I feel like despite the shock I was in, I was making conversation with her because, like, my survival instincts kick in. Like, this bitch could be a serial killer. She could be a witch. She could be fucking something. And although I don't fear no witches because I have the power of Christ within me and the blood of Christ has washed over me and it has power over any darkness and I'm not tripping about it, anything dark. You know what I'm saying? My maker is way more bad than whatever the fuck they are, right? So I'm not tripping. But at the same time, it's kind of scary, right? Because it's in front of me. Like, this literally just happened. And so she could be a serial killer. She could be something. She's obviously not like on the same plane that we are. We're not jumping down from trees with cats on our shoulder. We don't know what this bitch is about. So, like, I'm gonna be nice to her, right? I'm not gonna disrespect her. I'm not gonna give her no reason to fucking stab me in the throat. You know, who knows what this bitch is on. So, you know, well, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, you know, happy Halloween, you know, whatever the fuck I said to her, you know. And she's like, you guys want a drink? And she pulled out this bottle of dark rum. Well, I think it was some sort of dark liquor. I think it was rum, but it was some sort of dark liquor. Here's where the shit gets weird, right? The people who I was with, i.e. me, my two girlfriends, Amp, and Mac, we're all like, no, we're good. You know, we were just about to get going anyway. All the people who came with Mac, that group of his friends, agreed to stay with her. Yeah, we're drinking. Have fun with that fucking no. We was out of there, okay? That was the weirdest shit ever. The night, you know, ends, the sun comes up. Somehow Mac gets word from someone like, dude, check the jail roster. So-and-so's on it. And his friends had all got arrested. It said on the roster they were arrested for disturbing the peace. Okay, so that means whatever happened with that broad who jumped down from the tree, they got picked up on some kind of charge for being disruptive in some way, shape, or form. Who knows if it was like, you know, an aggressive thing or if they were just partying, being belligerent. We don't really know, but they got arrested for it. So, and nobody was underage. Like, so obviously that's not a MIP, you know, that's a fucking disturbing the peace charge. Obviously the charge says what was going on, kind of. But anyway, we're like, what the fuck? And the weirdest part is, dude, Mac never heard from them again. His childhood friends, he's known since like the first grade, like his brothers and whatever. He never, to this day, and I verified this with him the last time I seen him because I was like, dude, have you still never talked to those people again? He's like, no, haven't heard from them, haven't heard of them, haven't seen them post on the internet, like nothing, dude. They just like fell off the face of the earth. So again, unknown mystery in history, but that was some weird shit. Yeah, try explaining that one to me. If you have any idea, let me know. But you know, you can't, the woods are very mysterious. The ocean, the woods, there's a lot of stuff we're not privy to. We think we know everything, as you know, it's 2023, 2024 about to be. Like, we think we're so on top of shit, but we have no idea. We really don't. That happening, it sounds like I'm making it up, but I swear to God I'm not. It's like, what the fuck was that? Anyway, that's all I got for that story.